there, it's Kevin with the Rogue Market here with this month's episode of the Pirate Splendor Picks, where I give you my top 10 products that I think are good buys for the month of March 2022. So I missed it for February. February is a little bit redundant with January. Even this one is very redundant with January. The market's been a little bit sluggish for these things, and my opinions really haven't changed for at least the top 5 Magic products that I think are good buys. So even though this video is a little bit redundant for January's, probably even December's, because these are similar products, we've called Modern Horizons a ton, or Zenikar Rising Gift Edition a ton, I still think these are great buys, and I'm going to give you my justification in this video, and hopefully you can find this information helpful. Now, there will be a companionship video to this over at the Gone Rogue Games channel, so if you like accessories or board games or non-Magic the Gathering card games, I pick 5 every month that are also, I think, are good buys or interesting. I'll give a review about a particular product or deck box or something like that. Go over to the Gone Rogue Games channel, give it a look if you are in the market for that sort of stuff. So a little bit of a spoiler here in front of your eyes. We have the 5 products laid out before you. Likoria, Theros, Zenikar Rising Gift Edition, and 2 Modern Horizons. And hopefully in this video I can make my case and justify why I think these are good buys for March 2022. Again, we've picked all of these over and over again, but I still think they're great buys, and actually, I think they're more pertinent than ever because the supply is starting to run low on all 5 of these. I think these are almost their last call. We're down to a couple distributors on each one of these products. Not every distributor has them right now, so typically it's like 1 or 2 distributors. I can even get these at decent prices, and other distributors already jacked up the price of some of these, like Modern Horizons draft boosters at one particular distributor is already up to $210. So I think this might be your last call to get these products, and I'm going to lay out my justifications here for each one of these products. So let's start off with the Zenikar Rising Gift Edition. Zenikar Rising Gift Edition is a very interesting product. It has started to go up in value quite substantially in the last 6 months. So it's gone up from 40 to about 45. The sales history looks pretty strong with, at least a few selling per day. And the price trajectory has continued to go up. In fact, it was up to 49, 46, 46. That's a good sign for this gift edition product. There's only one more distributor I can actually get these from. I believe the patron price is $35. Now, this is a video that is geared more towards patrons. If you are a patron, I will give you the patron price here. If you aren't a patron, I highly suggest you go over to patreon.com/rogue deck builder if you do want to buy Magic the Gathering cards, or at least product for less than you could probably get it from TCG Player. Oftentimes, if I can get it from distributors, it's going to be less than here. So if you're in the market for that type of stuff, head on over there. There's my plug. We'll get back to the video. So anyway, back to Zenikar Rising gift bundles. Why I like this is you can actually go and sell the collector's booster pack in there for about $24 right now. Is the low pricing that you can get a collector's booster pack. Why the booster packs are very hot is you can actually get a box topper foil version in the collector's edition packs. So each one of the products, like the Zenikar Rising gift bundles and the Zenikar Rising not the gift bundle, excuse me, that's what we're talking about. The draft booster boxes and the set boosters, they'll have a box topper, but that's not going to be foil. And I believe the only way you can get a foil is through opening the collector's booster. Someone correct me if I'm wrong in the description here. It's either the box topper from the collector's boosters displays, or if they're in the packs. But I believe they're in the packs themselves is where you can get those ones. So there is the opportunity to get those lands, and they are worth quite a bit of money. And this is something that has just continued to hold the entire set down as far as prices are concerned, because people just went after those fetch lands and those other lands like crazy in these sets. I can't remember some other ones, but there's like Ancient Tombs. There's some high. Is there Ancient Tombs? I can't remember if that's in here or not. But there's a lot of lands also that have quite a bit of value in these collector's booster packs. So this is the only way you can really get them at a decent price, is by going the gift bundle route. The collector's boosters displays are already up to $300. They continue to go up in price, and same thing with these loose collector packs. So if you can open one up for $35, that's basically get the rest of the packs for quite cheap. And even the dice in these gift bundles have value. I've mentioned this before, but the dice, the large dice that come out of bundles, those actually do sell. I'm very surprised we have a hard time keeping them in stock, and I actually look at online prices too, and they tend to sell quite well on places like eBay. You can actually sell lots of them, and they do sell. So those do have real world value, and that's another interesting route to go with the bundles. I can't remember what the promo is. I really wish that Wizard of the Coast would start doing a different promo for the gift edition and not just be the laziest thing ever and just slap on one collector's edition and a new like box and a new dice look and call it good, because there's very, very little difference between the bundle and the gift edition. But I highly think the gift bundle is a lot better route than going the bundle because of that collector pack. And so that is some food for thought for the Zendikar Rising gift bundle. Another reason why I like Zendikar so much is it does have quite a bit of value in it in the land cycle. So all of these cards like the Aghanim Awakenings, the Seagate Restorations, these are what I call evergreen, meaning that every commander deck that is going to be running the colors that these lands can go into is just going to slap them in there, because why not? There's very little, like 3 life is nothing for especially the untapped lands like Aghanim's Awakening, and the upside for something like Aghanim's Awakening or Seagate Restoration or Shattercall Smashing can be huge. It's just a resource that is there if you need it. If not, you just play it as a land. And there is many of these other ones that come into play tapped that also have a high value or are starting to go up in value, like the Valakut Awakening is $7 rare. We have a $4 uncommon with the Balaged Recovery. We have the Glasspool Mimic that's almost $4. We have some other uncommons like the Malakir Rebirth, which is $2. All of these continue to go up in value, and this is despite the collector's edition being open so much, and even draft boosters at that point for the box toppers. That's kept these cards down. Like the Skyclave Apparition would probably be worth a lot more, or things like Scoot Swarm, with how much play they see in like casual formats as well as competitive formats. But the box toppers are really keeping all the set down. But eventually those should recover, and we've already started to see quite a bit of recovery with things like Aghanim Awakening. You can see kind of the trajectory here. It's the type of trajectory I like, but it's just a slow, steady, like $14 to $18. Give it another year, it's up to $22. It continues to go up. Now, of course, with inflation being 50%, that's not the greatest thing with Magic the Gathering products. However, it is something that is still going up comparatively speaking to other Magic the Gathering cards. So I do like Zendikar Rising. The gift bundles are the route to go compared to the other products. In my opinion, I wouldn't fault you to start investing in either the set boosters or the regulars, because I do believe that they're going to stop. They probably have stopped printing them. I don't think that there's another print wave that's scheduled to come out. There's just the supply that's left. I doubt there will be another printing for Zendikar. But gift bundles, way to go. It's down to one distributor. I don't know how much longer I can buy them for. I think $35 is the cost, which is a pretty good bargain for Zendikar. Another reason I do like Zendikar real quick too, you come over to EDH Rec, and you can see the pathways do very well in the majority of 15% of all decks can run them, which is what you want to see for these particular cards for going up. Same thing, the Balagade Recovery. Scoot Swarm sees a ton of play. You can see all of these cards see quite a bit of play. Typically speaking, if you can get above the 7% mark, that's a good card to invest in. And Zendikar has a lot, that 6%, 7%. Yeah, and so I really, really like this set. I think it's a sleeper set as far as Commander is concerned of how many cards in here are going to last the test of time, and people are going to continue to play as time goes on. All right, so on to the next product. So the next product that I want to talk about is Modern Horizons. So this one's the draft booster. As I mentioned earlier, there's one distributor that's already put the draft booster up to 210. I believe that it was announced out of print, meaning they're not going to do another print wave. So what the inventory that's left is what's out there. There are a couple of distributors that still have these for a lot cheaper. I can't remember if my price is 180 or 185. It's around there for the draft booster boxes. And while we're here, we might as well talk about the set boosters too, which I also think is a good buy. It's up to 225 TCG player. The sales history has been pretty consistent, but you can see how many have sold per day. This is pretty good for the sales for the set boosters. So it continues to get outstretched as time goes on. So really think that this is a good buy right now for set boosters or the draft boosters, just because this is the best set that is ever printed, in my opinion. As far as cards that see play in a variety of different formats, like Commander, Legacy, Modern, this is just the powerhouse of all the powerhouse of sets. If we come over here and look at all the cards that, like the Ragavons, the Solitudes, the Urza Sagas, the Endurances, these cards are just powerhouses. You got things like the Cabal Coffers, the Arid Mesas, the Fetch Lands. Those things are going to see play forever in Commander, and I think that they might at this point take a breather on the Fetch Lands because they need to get that juicy equity in the future from another set. So I'd be surprised if they continue to print these. I think they want these to go up to like $30, $40, $50 so they can have that be their kind of flagship cards for another set to sell. And so this will make Modern Horizons 2 even more lucrative when they do have Fetch Lands. And same thing with Zendikar Rising, like I mentioned earlier. So these things just got crushed as far as the Fetch Lands. They had so many printings in the last year with the Secret Lair layers with now Zenikar Rising now with I really doubt that we're going to see these being printed again in 2022 or 2023. They're going to give some breather room for these to go up in price. So again, Modern Horizon looks even better. We even do have the Modern Horizons shifted cards that are included here. A lot of goodies in there. And EDH, if you go and check out Modern Horizons 2, this is just a set that has very popular commanders that are included in it, as well as incredibly popular cards that go in so many different decks and are just powerful cards when they are in the right shell. So then you go over to Legacy, you go over to Modern, same thing. Modern it's a joke that Modern is basically Modern Horizons 1 and 2 the format, and there's other few cards sprinkled in here and there to supplement the format. But that's how powerful these cards are, and that also transitions over into Commander. There's some very powerful cards. So I think these are both good. It's been pretty much announced it's out of print now, so the supply is left. I don't know how long this price will hold for like 180 or I think it is 180 and 190 or 195 for set boosters is what I can get them. And the Modern Horizons, I believe collector's editions are up to $400 right now. They're way long gone, so it's hard to get those particular products. So people are going to start scrapping up these products now that they can't get the more juicy stuff. So these will start to go up in value, in my opinion. That brings us on to the next set, which is Likoria. So Likoria Lair of Behemoths, I think, was what I like to compare this to is we all thought that Ravnica Allegiance and Guilds of Ravnica was just going to be stagnant for quite a while for how much they printed. Box prices are quite substantial. I think they're up to 140 on 135, 140 for Guilds and for Ravnica Allegiance, and they're not that far removed from Likoria. So this is going to be the kind of $1 million question with Likoria and Throne of Eldraine and Theros, is they're the first products that really had that overprinting as far as collector's editions are concerned. That's when they started doing the gift bundles, the collector's edition, the more of the sleeve packs. So they started doing like the 3-packs and the hanger packs that they allow local game stores to get. That was kind of the first time in a while they've allowed that. So the print runs of these are quite higher, the amount of cards are out there. Likoria did come with a box topper, so there's that going for Likoria. But this is another one that I wouldn't be surprised if it sneaks up to us to 120, 130, 140 in no time. In fact, the sales history is up to 105 here. And it has gone up quite substantially in the last, 6 months at least. The price has been staying more at that. It's a couple of the distributors have already increased the prices. I think one of the distributors is up to 105 for Likoria, and there's another one at 95, but I can get it from one other distributor still from 90. So I wouldn't wait on it. This is the last one. It's typically a distributor that doesn't hold on to stuff for a long time. So when it's out, it's out, and then the other distributors tend to, increase it at that point. Some of those match a little bit under eBay prices and stuff. So if you are looking to get a better position on your Likoria, I wouldn't wait. This is another set that I think is pretty good due to its Triomes. So Triomes have just gone through the roof. It's got some good cards like even Shark Typhoon that it's got her printing in a challenger deck that still continues to go up. Things like Ruinous Ultimatum. There are a lot of goodies in this. Lurrus did just get banned, so we can see this card to tank. But it's still a good card. Like Lurrus, I think if it does tank in Modern, it's something you can definitely pick up, and it will always see play in Commander in decks just as recursion. I mean, throw the Companion out of the window here, and you can still, during your turn, you can cast a 2-mana spell. In fact, there's plenty of decks, I think, even in Modern. I think it's still powerful enough in Modern to play in a deck and call it good. So yeah, I think it's still going to be very viable in Pioneer, very viable and well, it's actually banned in Modern as anything though, right? So you can't, in Pioneer. Never mind, you can't even play it. They banned it outright. They didn't just ban it as a companion, which just kind of sucks for Lurrus. So I guess that's going to take the price of Lurrus down to basically nil. But if it does go very far down, this is a nice little spec card, I think, just for Commander alone, as it does see quite a bit of play as a Commander, as well as sees quite a bit of play in the 99 of Commanders. You can see that it's in 6,300 decks, which is pretty good. I think it's more justifiable than that because it's just the value engine that Lurrus does provide. But now I'm getting into deck techs and whatnot. Whatever. Likoria, pretty good. Has a lot of value in it. I think that Likoria is a good long-term hold. If Guilds of Ravnica and Ravnica Allegiance or anything, even Core 2020, all those sets have gone through the roof. And we really thought that was going to be the return of, back to Return to Ravnica, where you'd see a stagnant product for years or a decade. And that doesn't seem to be the case. In fact, those sets are actually worth more than some of the ones that were printed during that time period that I aforementioned. Last but not least is definitely Theros. So Theros got a huge boost for Kamigawa, and Kamigawa just used a lot of enchantments that Theros ends up working with, and the box price of these are up to that 105-ish. I mean, this is the price that sellers have to sell to break even or make just a slight profit on TCG Player if they're getting boxes for like 80, 85. But I do think this is going to continue to go up for Theros Beyond Death. Again, we're down to like one or two distributors that carry this at that original like $85, $90 price tag. And some of the other distributors already one of them actually put Theros up to $115 already. So they're quite bullish on this going up in value and want to hold their position. However, I still can get this for $90 from one of the distributors. I think two of them I can still get it for $90. So again, I think that this one is going to be, let's look at the sales history, see how many boxes have been sold. That's not the greatest showing, only a few here and there for Theros Beyond Death. But like I said, there was a lot of cards that have gone up quite a bit in value because of the new enchantments. Based stuff like the Champion, Citizen Champion has just gone through the roof. Thassa's Oracle continues to still go up. There's some good mythics here. They've had printings. We have a $22 rare. That's always good for it. There's some good uncommons like Destiny Spinner up to $5. $5 for uncommon. That means you can actually go find those theme boosters from Theros and actually open them up and probably get your money back because you're almost guaranteed to get a Destiny Spinner in a theme booster with how many uncommons there are. Got another $2.50 uncommon. Got a lot of cards here that I think will age well in the long run, because this set did have some sleepers in it. It didn't have a good like land base. The temples were quite meh. I mean, temples have been printed, and wizards just can't help themselves but throw this garbage, temples in commander decks because they're cheap. Because who wants to give commander decks any more value with our meta base? Let's just throw another cheap rare in there and make sure that temples never go up in value. That's kind of the logic for Wizards of the Coast when they reprint stuff. However, yeah, there are a lot of good stuff if you actually skim through this, like the Tutor, Nyx Lotus. These things are going to be highly sought after for a long time. Thassa's Oracle is just like a go-to win con in so many decks. And, I mean, is that the most played EDH card? I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Yep, Thassa's Oracle, and 12% of all blue decks run it. Dryad of Lycian Grove, Underworld Breach, Destiny Spinner. Yeah, look at these cards. These are some pretty heavy hitter cards in the Commander format. Things even like the Heal-Outs Intervention is starting to tick up. So yeah, really like Theros. I think it's going to be the Ravnica Allegiance type set out of this rotation that's going to go up first, and then go up to that 130s, 140s. And I think this is your last time to get into this price before we're going to start to see it stretch the supply run thin. Being outstretched with the demand. Anyway, kind of rambly for this video. That was my top 5 products. I hope this is a pretty good overview for them. Again, it's very redundant from other months, but these are still the ones I like. Speaking of some of them that have fallen off, like Jumpstart. Jumpstart just had, it's pretty much out of print. What's the supply that's left is the supply that's left. There's still some distributors that sell it for pretty cheap. Commander Legend has gone up. That's why it wasn't included in here, because I can't get Commander Legends for 85 anymore. I think the cheapest I can get it for is like 95. Or maybe $9.90 to $95 is the cheapest I can get it for. So that one, unfortunately, I don't think is as good as buy as these ones, because I still think the supply of Commander Legends is quite high. I think the distributors are just really kind of bullish on this, and they don't want to, give up too much of their position right now at that mark. So, yeah, Commander Legends would be on here if the price didn't go up in those ones. So same thing with Theros and Likoria. If there wasn't that one distributor that could still sell for cheap, I don't think that I would pay like the 110 price that the other distributors are asking for either one of these products. So like I said, I think that this video is more geared towards the buys that currently, right this second, I think you need to pull the trigger on if you want some of these. There are always things like Kamigawa that's going to age quite well. There are other products that I think are, decent little buys right now, but these are the ones that I think are more pressing in the time matter if you want to actually get in on them. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, there will be a companionship video over at the Gondor Games channel. That's what the channel's called. Hardly ever do anything there anymore, but yeah, we need to get reviving these channels and get things going. And yeah, we'll have one again next month. And if you aren't a patron, I highly suggest you go over to patreon.com/RogueDeckBuilder. I have an entire sheet that I share with people for all the pricing for distributors. How it works is you sign up for a particular tier, and then you're eligible for buying X amount of products depending on what tier you are on. And there's a lot of other perks and benefits to being a patron. Really helps this channel, support this channel, and helps keep me motivated. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. This has been Kevin with the Rogue Market. Thanks for watching.